team that has been playing very confident.
And here we go, third and final meeting this season between the Fever and the Sparks. And the SoCal native Mo Billings wins the tip. Back to Caitlin Clark. If this matchup is anything like their first meeting here in May, which was Clark's first ever appearance here as a pro, it's going to be spicy here tonight. Caitlin Clark starting things off, that one wide right, but the rebound tracked down by her backcourt mate Mitchell. Had Billings on the roll. Instead, she'll get it to her there. What a great pass and grab by Billings for the deuce.
What a steal by Billings, too. Dearica Hamby, such a tough defender, and Billings' ability to be able to seal her off was special.
She was a star at Santiago High School in nearby Corona, California. Was Mo Billings, and then obviously a star for Corey Close and UCLA. And Mo with the steal there. Thinking about going coast to coast. Okay, the handle let her down just a little bit. Kelsey Mitchell, the high arcing trail triple, is wide right.
Both teams want to play fast, but so much is predicated on defensive stops.
And this time it's Hamby with a steal on the other end in the bucket.
And there's a big part for Los Angeles of how they can get things going. They get it on the inside and hopefully open up their offensive game from the perimeter.
Clark, the step back, guarded by Wheeler. Cole, one of the glue pieces for these Fever, does a little bit of everything. Kelsey Mitchell was a mid-range money and then a little bit slow to get up.
Hopefully she's okay. She has been spectacular for Indiana, especially as of late.
Hasn't she? Named an all-star again this season was Mitchell. First time she's been named an all-star starter as Bumake doesn't get the bounce. And I think the response to that around the league, fans, other coaches, everyone, so excited to see Mitchell starting this year's game. Cole off the heel. Bumake knocks out the rebound. It's picked up by Erica Wheeler. Wheeler, disappointed in herself after Monday's loss here to Seattle, says, I've got to be a better leader. I'm a Bex, I've got to show it. Atkins for three. That is huge because the Sparks did not shoot well against Seattle from outside on Monday.
And that's been the big issue for LA, their inability to knock down three-point shots.
And Clark playing a little bully ball with Wheeler there. Know that she did so much work in the weight room this offseason. Every player has to as they make that transition from the college game to the pro. Atkins bounces it to Bumake. This is good. This is good from the Sparks. Nice ball movement there. Hamby too strong, but Coach Roberts didn't like that.
You said it, the ball movement there.
Mitchell running the floor. Clark found her. And Mitchell is fouled. She was looking at Amy Bonner for a second saying, no whistle, no whistle, and then there was the whistle.
We mentioned Kelsey Mitchell, and she's had 4 straight games of 20 or more points, but that's where it gets knocked over a little. You see her grabbing at the ankle. Overall, though, for Kelsey Mitchell, her ability to score at all 3 levels, fastest with the ball in her hand, to get downhill, she's so tough because of how she's able to make reads and her decision-making.
Hits the first, and I'm just gonna assume she actually just wanted us to see the shoes because we know that a lot of different players are getting shoe deals, but Kelsey, the first athlete last week signing with Tyrese Halliburton's Hallie franchise with Puma, so I think she just wanted the close-up on the kicks.
I like that.
I like Kelsey Mitchell, and pretty cool too. Obviously, Hallie, a star for the Indiana Pacers. Clark knocks it away. Mitchell picks it up and wants to push. Pulls up from the other elbow. Around and out. Rebound tracked down by Hamby. And then stolen away by Mitchell. Does a little bit of everything. Kelsey Mitchell from 3.
Extra effort play. And for Kelsey Mitchell, that's what it's all about. Doing the little things. Her continued attack.
Last year, she had 34 points here in a win over the Sparks in August. She had 23 in their win here on May 13th.
A big part of the 7-0 run. I mean, look at the steal here. Kelsey Mitchell coming from behind, gets the pick, pulling it out from 3. For Indiana, too, and Stephanie White talked with us about it earlier, it's been evident when they're able to play defense, it changes the complexion of what they can do.
And Burrell gets the bounce. That's got to feel good for Ray Burrell because a frustrating night for her on Monday as well. 2 for 11, second worst shooting night of the season. It was just that kind of night for LA. They were getting good looks, but the shots just weren't falling. Oh, keeping it herself. Doesn't get the bank to go. Bumake ripping down that rebound. Scoops it to Burrell. Has been one of the players who's tried to step up their offensive game with no Kelsey Plum at the moment.
And she's got the capabilities.
Yeah.
It's just about consistency.
Hamby, again, led the way offensively with 17 points Monday against Seattle. She thought that should have been Sparks basketball on the baseline. So does head coach Lynn Roberts. As the rookie Raven Johnson will check in for Indiana. Cole will take a seat. We got word just before tip-off that Sophie Cunningham, who's usually one of the first off the bench for Stephanie White and the Fever, suffered some back spasms during warm-up. Sophie was out here signing autographs, warmed up. We haven't seen her since, so we will keep you posted on that. No Cunningham at the moment, questionable tonight. This is Ty Harris taking the handoff from Billings. And the mid-range is good on Ty Harris's first look of the night.
It's so smooth.
Agumake running the floor like she's a rookie. Good find from her fellow vet Hamby. 13-9 Indy. It's a much better start than we saw from LA on Monday. Johnson looking confident as a rook. That one off the mark. Hamby quickly ahead to Wheeler. You mentioned both teams playing fast. Are we winded yet? Hoops fans. Hamby drawing the foul on Billings.
But that's a big part of it for both these teams, and the emphasis for these coaches on transition defense, quick pickup, whether it's a make or a miss, because they will look to push, they will look to run. And that's why for both sides, defense becomes so important. And Lynn Roberts understanding that more than anything. And that's been, you know, a point of struggle for the team in playing without a Kelsey Plum, playing without an anchor of your defense, of a Cameron Brink. All of those things, you're going to need other players to shore up and try and fill some of those gaps and roles.
Hamby hits them both. She's got 4. There is Kelsey Plum, Cam Brink. Alyssa Peely is available tonight, sitting on the other side of Brink, and Coach Roberts said we should see her. Johnson, confidence on the attempts, an offensive rebound by Billings. Gets it right back to the rookie Johnson. That one doesn't go either. Battle once again for the rebound, and it will remain Indiana basketball. Well, you mentioned, Sarah, both teams trying to get out and run tonight, and LA doing just that.
Erica Wheeler putting a dime up for her fellow.
It's just a testament to Indiana's offensive balance. And when multiple stars are capable of taking over a game, defenses just can't key in on one. Kate?
Yeah, no doubt about that, Tarika, and I think we all probably remember how those 2023 Aces ended their season. They lifted a trophy at the end of that season.
No question, for this group too, just their ability to be so malleable of how they play off of one another, the understanding of the system, and they just do a good job of making those read and react plays. Kelsey Mitchell, we've talked about a lot. The production that she has put, especially the last 4 games, averaging over 26 points per game, but it's also her playmaking and how she's been able to continue to have the gravity to get her teammates open.
That was on Erica Wheeler, her first. Yeah, Mitchell averaging just under 22 points a game. Sarah, 3rd in the league in points per game. Clark just behind her in the 4th spot. And there is Wheeler. So, again, much better start from a number of Sparks tonight than we saw on Monday. It had been a long layoff. They hadn't played in 9 days. And Ty Harris looking tremendous for Indiana. It's game 2 of a 4-game, 10-day road trip for the Fever. Burrell gets down low, tried to scoop it to Hamby, but a little bit too hot to handle.
I see right here Ty Harris. She started in games that Caitlin Clark had missed. She does a great job in just her organization of the offense, knowing exactly how Stephanie White wants to run things. She also, though, as you can see, knocking down those open shots.
Oh, look at Mitchell. Has it on a string, past to Agumake. Wide right to the neck, quickly ahead to Wheeler. Agumake down to Hamby. Erica Hamby with the deuce.
And what a job. The quickness and the advancement, everyone understanding exactly how they want to space the floor, and that final seal by Hamby.
And the big word that Coach Roberts used with us pregame, as Harris hits another. Ty Harris scorching hot in this first quarter for Indy. One word, though, that Coach Roberts used was connected, and they just look so much more connected tonight than they did on Monday. That one off for Agumake. Johnson whipping a pass ahead to Timpson. Some contact there from Hamby, no whistle. She did go straight up and down. Atkins pushing. Oh, look at Ariel Atkins, but it doesn't go.
For both these teams, they're doing a great job of attacking, getting downhill to the basket. It's just about finishing off the possessions.
And Atkins hits the deck. Let's see who this one's going to be on. Okay, they're going to call Michaela Timpson for that foul.
We talked a lot about the fast pace, and right here, quickness of hand, getting so deep with her seal. The passing that Nneka Ogwumike brings to the table, how those two can play off one another. And you mentioned it.
A piece of these back-to-back wins for the Fever, back-to-back 9-point efforts for Cunningham. One of those 2 wins coming against these LA Sparks in Indy at the end of June. Here's Kiana Williams. Down to her fellow Stanford Cardinal, Ogwumike. Blocked by Timpson. Mitchell with 9 already. Cunningham asking for it. Loves that wing triple. Down low to Timpson. Creates some space and lays it up and in.
Great recognition, too, because Timpson had the mismatch with Atkins on her. On top of it, the position deep on the block.
And I think one of the things maybe the casual fan might not realize, yeah, Indy has stars. They got a lot of depth, too. Their second unit is difficult. Good move by Ogwumike, but left the layup a little bit short. Harris to Timpson, who has it blocked away by Atkins. And she can't believe it. That's going to be number 2 on Atkins.
I also think, too, and as we look at that last possession of Timpson on the post, look at where she is, though, on the block, and then Atkins trying to hold her ground, and there's not a whole lot you can do, especially with the size disadvantage. It's not just about Indiana on the push and how they run, but how well they fill the lanes, the spacing, everyone understanding the balance on the floor, and then the quickness of the advancement of their passes.
As Timpson hits the first one, let's take a look at our upcoming W National TV schedule. Tomorrow night, Prime's got a great group of games for you. The Storm in Atlanta, and then these Fevers second half of a back-to-back at Phoenix to take on the Mercury. Then Ion Friday nights, the Wings up in Toronto, the Sky here in LA to take on the Sparks. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Williams, the handoff to Burrell. Ray Burrell, the jump stop. Rolls out, Timpson rips it away. So LA started tonight's game 6 of 8, a really great start. 0 for their last 6 since. Clark sneaking inside for 2.
Quickness and turn in the corner. And, too, a big part of that is Indiana's offense, how they're able to space play 5 out. It allows for those driving lanes.
Burrell fouled by Tamira Stuntis.
Big on the actions there. You see a little handoff. Clark's able to turn the corner. That's what they can do so much of, just their ability to space and open up the floor and allow that real estate.
Largest lead of the night for Indy. Sits at 10. Williams sets her feet, fires, too strong. And there is Alyssa Peely making her 2026 debut for the Sparks. Oh, what a move by Williams.
Nasty.
Now you see them, now you don't.
And you see the quickness, elongation of her steps and the reads of the D.
Clark trying to answer for the Fever, can't do it. Peely the rebound, quickly ahead to Hamby. De'Erica Hamby doesn't get the roll, gets the rebound though. Jihan Park, Ray Burrell, short on that triple. Clark coming down with the rebounds. End-to-end action here as this first quarter winds down. Knocked away by Park. South Korean star has been a spark off the bench for these Sparks. Williams, great look down to Peely for the deuce.
For Peely to recognize.
And the Sparks are heating up as this first quarter winds down.
It was a really nice possession. You got no backside help. And Peely recognizes it. Look at that wide open space. Williams puts it on the spot. Easy finish. And for Los Angeles, I mean, Peely even, making an impact early.
Yeah.
You see how they're attacking the glass. That's kind of the pick and choose nature that you need to play with for a Fever team that wants to run, be aware of getting back in transition D, but also crashing the offensive glass, putting pressure on the rim is something that's going to be really important throughout the course of this.
Foul on Sophie Cunningham. Park misses the first one. The WNBA action continues on Monday at 7. Nneka Ogwumike and these Sparks heading to Atlanta to take on Angel Reese and the Dream. It all happens right here on USA. It's a good night already. Another fun one between the Lynx and the Sun. JuLy finally picking up that win. 50 seconds to go in our first quarter. 25-20, Fever in front. Appreciate you all staying up late with us on a Wednesday on USA. Good rotation there by Park, forcing the turnover.
This group for the Sparks has played really well on both ends of the floor. The connectivity you see defensively, how they're communicating, beating players to the spots. And the first quarters have been an issue for the Sparks, but overall, they've come out and they've been strong despite this 5-point deficit.
Yeah, this is much better from LA than we saw on Monday. They may be trailing, but as you've mentioned, much more connected. Hamby found by Dunsis. She is just so active, Dearica Hamby. You're 12 for the 32-year-old. You wouldn't know it.
Well, and she just understands where to be, how to play. She's such a force on the offensive side because of the ways that not only she can score, but handle the basketball, the rip-and-run nature of her rebounding.
Yeah, she hits the first, and yeah, looking forward to saw that graphic before it came back to the score bug, as we call it here on TV, but WNBA Finals coming to USA in October, and Sarah and I looking forward to being a part of those. Alyssa Pilino had the offensive rebound, though. Shot clock is off. Some full court pressure from LA. Clock with 4 so far. Kelsey Mitchell with 9. Hard screen there by Cunningham, but it's going to be an offensive foul. Illegal screen on Cunningham.
Moving on this one, and you see right there. That's a great job by Erica Wheeler, though, continuing to put pressure on Clark. Give themselves an opportunity here.
Final few seconds of the first. Wheeler with 2. Wheeler to beat the horn.
As we talk about this Los Angeles team trying to fill the gaps without a player like Kelsey Plum, Erica Wheeler is going to have to be a really important part of that.
And she said that again after Monday's game. Really disappointed in herself. Park saving her teammate from a turnover, but then swatted away by Hines Allen. Mitchell to Hull. At great pace to our first 10 minutes here tonight. Hull lets fly from the corner. Too strong. Park soaring in for the rebound. Okay, Jihan Park doing all the little things so far for LA.
She's been really active.
Yeah. Williams down to Hamby, who draws the foul on Maisha Hines Allen.
And once again, Dearica Hamby just continues to rim run, get those steals, use her position. You watch right here, already early on, she's on the inside, smooth with the delivery. In a lot of these running plays, the transition, they mirror one another with these teams, how they want to play and get up the floor. But a big part of that, too, is just the understanding of you've got guards, you've got players that are able to put it on point once they do get that type of inside position.
8 so far for Dearica, with more on Hamby. Let's go over to Tarika.
Well, Dearica Hamby has really become the glue for this Sparks team. I mean, we know what she can give you as a scorer and a rebound, but with Kelsey Plum out, she's really been taking on more of a responsibility creating the offense. She's actually only a handful of players in WNBA history to rank in the league's top 10 in both points, rebounds, steals, and field goal percentage at the same time. And Coach Lynn Roberts said that she is always and continually playing her part.
And Jihan Park is playing her part tonight for LA as well, Tarika. Had the steal that Indy took back, but then another steal. And then Hamby couldn't finish. My goodness. End to end again here to start this second quarter. An 8-0 LA run. Pull within 2. They were trailing, that is, by 10 in our first quarter. Billings tried to put it back up before coming down, and we got a whistle.
That's another example, though, of Indiana putting pressure at the rim. Now it's just about finding ways to finish. Someone like Alexi Hull does all the little things. She is always so active. I think for her, trying to find a consistency, not only in the three-point shots, but some of those looks on the inside when she gets there.
Billings hits the first. She's got 3 to go along with her 6 rebounds. Well, it's time for that final major across the pond, Sarah. Over a rugged landscape that's tough to endure, the world's best seek to be crowned the champion golfer of the year. It's the Open Championship beginning live July 16th on USA. And if you ever need some hoops folks to cover golf, I think Sarah and I always have to go over to the UK for a couple of days. As long as you don't
ask me to actually go.
No.
I mean, I would do it. I'm just not.
It would be ugly.
Yeah.
Both of us. Yeah, that one wouldn't be good. Kate Scott, Sarah Kustok, Sarika Foster-Brasby with you tonight here on USA. Billings with a strip and steal. Billings through Burrell, but that's going to be an offensive foul. Love the idea from Billings. Great position, though, underneath.
It probably didn't even need to. I mean, she goes right through the body of Burrell on the get back. Let's take a look right there, and there was it. You see the shoulder right there just going right into Burrell, and Burrell square in front of her. And for Billings on that move, you can almost just divert around her in that situation.
Wheeler. Wide left, Billings, another rebound. Leading everybody. She's got 7 rebounds in her first 9 minutes tonight, does Mo Billings. And another quick foul on 2-5 in white. So the 4th offensive foul already on the Fever. Well, a tough stretch there.
We've talked about the depth of the Fever. Yeah. However, playing without Aaliyah Boston, that's such an important part of making sure those in your front court are available, given the impactful nature that brings. And also it's an area, the rebounding, we talk about it quite a bit. If a team wants to run, Billings such a huge part of that.
And she's gonna have to sit for a while. That's her 3rd personal. Emma Cannon from outside. Another former member of the Fever. Cannon played 3 seasons in a pair of stints for Indiana. Hines Allen, one of the new additions to the Fever this season. Over to Hull. Around the perimeter it goes. Mitchell. The step back. Short. Hull crashing. Spinning back to her left. And Alexi Hull gets the roll.
It makes a tough finish. We mentioned that Alexi Hull, she is another player just so active.
Wheeler, too quick, couldn't finish though. Harris, perfect in the first quarter. And 7 points on 3 for 3. Just like she did in the Fever's win over the Sparks just a little over a week ago in Indy. Here's that whole hustle.
Well, and she's so good on the offensive glass. 1, because of the activity. 2, she just gets underneath the defense. That's a hard finish on her turnaround over a player like Hamby.
And that is what Lexi Hull has always done.
And that's whether her shots are going in or out, she does the little things.
Mitchell catch and shoots high off the heel, doesn't go. And the whole bucket halted an 11-2 LA run. Oh, beautiful move by Burrell, the jump stop and the step through.
Ray Burrell is a player, she's so quick, so fast, so aggressive, but when the game slows down for her, it's moves like that that make her special.
Oh, with a straight-on triple. Billings and company loving it. LA had pulled within 1. The whole triple extends the lead once again. Atkins too strong. Neither team shooting particularly well so far. LA at 36%, Indy at 39. Fever 3 of 11 from 3. Mitchell, the crossover, the spin, the step through, and a tough 2 from Kelsey Mitchell.
She's got counter after counter. and her ability, though, to get that deep in the paint is something that is why she's not only so quick, but physical. And then she creates the angles with her body. The turnaround, shot so smooth.
Every player who stepped on the court tonight for the Sparks has scored. They have 9 different players on the score sheet. That is how you're going to win without Kelsey Plum. Harris, wide right, Timpson, what a rebound. That's it right back to Harris, who gets it back to Timpson, lets the defender fly on by, and then misses the bunny.
Been a handful of those.
Yeah, and that's what LA had on Monday, so finally those are falling for the Sparks and not falling for the Fever.
Look at this by Nneka Ogwumike, just how strong she is in there, the quickness of the turn. And that's where she's so good, because she's able to read and feel where her defender's at. She get a shot off anywhere, but just continuing to get to her spot. 10-time All-Star. Now, what, 11?
11, as of yesterday.
Be 11.
36 years young. I mean, come on. I was not moving like that when I was 36. Burrell, the no look. Down to Ogwumike, just a little bit short.
With love, were you ever moving like that?
Thank you, actually, for that follow-up. Stop. Mitchell, faster than anyone in this league off the bounce. But again, another bunny missed. And Burrell, the interception, the hustle from the Sparks. Just everything. Everything is looking better than Monday. And Burrell was almost in tears after the loss to Seattle on Monday. She was so, you can just tell the expectation that she holds herself to. She was so frustrated. And you wonder, again, no Kelsey Plum, one of the best, and this entire Sparks offense based around having Kelsey Plum available. And you wonder if the players who are available maybe gripping a little too hard. Tonight we're not seeing that. Everybody in purple and gold playing free. And that's gonna be a shot clock violation on the Fever.
It's really critical just how quickness they're moving. You see Kelsey Plum named an All-Star now for a 5th straight season, putting up some huge numbers for this Los Angeles team early on, nearly 24 points per game.
Yeah, second in the league behind Knicks tomorrow night. So Caitlin Clark playing tonight, Boston not. Boston will play tomorrow, and Clark will sit. And Hines Allen gonna be the last to touch it. More great effort from Ray Burrell.
Well, the extra effort, but also even Nneka Ogwumike, as you see Aaliyah Boston right there, who will play tomorrow against Phoenix. You want to, if you're Ogwumike, if you're the Spark, you need to go at these players and see if you can do even more to get them in foul trouble, as she's doing right there.
Ogwumike, taking your advice.
And not to say she wouldn't be taking those shots and continuing to be aggressive in attack, but I think even being more mindful of making sure who and when you're getting the ball.
Just like to call out your awesome analysis whenever I can, Kusa. We got a 1-point game here in LA. Cunningham, let's fly. Long rebounds, down to Atkins. Chance to take the lead. Ogwumike gives it to the Sparks.
37% on the season from 3. You see the celebration of the bench. We could talk so much about her post-game, how she can score, and she could do it from deep as well.
As the last 8 points for LA. Might have the last 10. No, unselfish, scoops it over to Hamby. And Hamby on the reverse. And Indy calls time. The veterans sparking LA here as our first half winds to a close. 38-34 LA, rallying back from 10 down in the first. Clark, wide left. A 10-0 LA run before we stepped away. Make it a 12-0 Sparks run.
A double clutch there by Ray Burrell, and that's a great job by her. Again, the patience. She's got a quickness to her game, but also just reading where the defense is at and the spacing that it can provide.
Grace Van Sluten has checked in for the Fever. Cunningham read that all the way. Good play there by Sophie Cunningham. Burrell. Van Sluten pulls down the rebound. Going to be a foul on Williams. Got into the straight line path of Clark.
And you said it, Sophie Cunningham just making a read right here as it's coming through, shoots the gap, finishes on the other end.
But watch her afterwards. Again, had some back spasms in warm-ups.
You can almost see it in her face
a little bit.
The movements, her gait's a little bit different.
But she's given Indy everything she has, just like she always does. And a whistle on Wheeler. Wheeler smiling that one off. Had a great moment between Wheeler and Clark pre-game. Erica Wheeler mic'd up for us tonight, along with Sophie Cunningham. And a lot of respect shown between those two, knowing they were going to be probably hip to hip for most of the night. Wheeler, one of the best defenders on this LA team. Kelsey Mitchell, the drive and kick. Cunningham halfway down, and it pops back out. Has been one of the best three-point shooters in the league this season. 5th in three-point percentage, 43 on the season for Sophie Cunningham. Fever, though, just 3 for 15 from beyond the arc tonight. Great move by Mitchell. Yeah, she's frustrated that
That's a huge
one didn't go down. And picking up the foul, too.
Three-point shooting.
Yeah.
They're 3rd in the league in three-point percentage. Over 36% from deep, and been a major shift here tonight. And I think for Los Angeles, they'll give them a lot of credit. You keep mentioning it. They've been much more communicative, quick, and connected on the defensive side, and the pressure and the extension they have of this Fever offense.
Yeah, just night and day between the Sparks team we saw here on Monday. The WNBA app, built by Deloitte, is your home court for all things WNBA. Stay in the game with the latest schedule, where to watch, game alerts, and more. Just scan that QR code to download it tonight. 1:45 to go in our first half. Double comes. Clark tried to get it out to Cunningham. Sophie was able to keep it in. And then knocked out by Atkins. Again, the swarming defense by LA.
In the quickness of where that double's coming from. Hamby with the recognition to come from behind. And there's so many different coverages that, you know, Stephanie White's group and Caitlin Clark, the Fever, have seen. So for Los Angeles, try and keep them on their toes.
Dantis was looking for Mitchell. Couldn't hang on. Burrell fakes it, tried to reverse it. Look at Agwumoke soaring in. Loose ball comes to Hamby, and she lays it up and in. A 16-2 LA run. Energy, effort, enthusiasm. It has all been there for the Sparks in this second quarter especially.
And that's what you want to see from a team that is trying to protect their home court.
Yeah.
We mentioned early on, they've lost 3 straight, 5 of their last 6. And at some point, too, despite dealing with injuries, these are proud players. They are players who have won a lot through the course of their career, but you can see the hunger and the motivation that they've come out with here tonight.
Yeah, we fell to the Seattle Storm here on Monday. No Kelsey Plum, no Cam Brink right now. Both progressing from their respective injuries. Hoping to have Brink maybe back before the All-Star break. Plum probably after the break. Mitchell hits the first. She's got 12 now. Hull and Johnson back in. Clark and Cunningham will take a seat. Mitchell leading the way for the Fever. She's got the 12 that I mentioned. Clark just 4 points so far tonight. Cunningham with 2. And Mitchell hits them both. So 6-point game as we approach our final minute of this first half. Burrell with 8. Burrell with an and 1 opportunity.
Ray Burrell, once again, the penetration, the drive, and turns the corner, but stops a little short. And you see right there the patience, where Hull is at. And for her, it's just kind of the next phase in her evolution. The consistency in finishing around the rim, because you know she can get there with her aggressive driving and how she's able to turn the corner.
Can't connect on the free throw, but 8 of her 10 points coming in this second quarter. Big frame for Ray Burrell. Johnson. Hull for 3. Indy needed that one. Lexi Hull delivers it. 46-41 LA. Hamby with 13. Hamby back to her right. Burrell knocked out the rebound, but it's picked up by Indy. Johnson, the jump stop. Too strong on the jumper. And it's going to be an offensive foul whistled on Grace Van Sluten. Rookie out of Michigan State with a little push in the back here on Park.
Yeah, you can see it right there, especially at the end.
Started her collegiate career at Oregon, finished it at Michigan State. And this is Jihan Park, the 26-year-old rookie out of South Korea.
And Parks made an instant impact just with her effort and those type of plays of which she's been active around the glass. Whether it's picking up rebounds, loose balls, all of those things. And I think that's part of the reasons that there's a lot of optimism of what she can add when given some time and some run.
Yeah, 2 rebounds, 3 steals, leading all players in steals so far tonight. And now 3 points, 48-41, LA. Fever lead this season series, 2-0. One here in May. Beat the Sparks a little over a week ago in Indy. That's the finale of this 3-game set here tonight. Oh, down to Johnson in the corner. Rookie can't connect. Final few seconds. Ogwumike sees it. Hamby to beat the horn. Doesn't fall. But a 17-point swing over the last as we start our 3rd quarter. Thanks for being with us for some WNBA After Dark on another doubleheader Wednesday here on USA. Kate Scott, Sarah Kustok, Tarika Foster-Brasby with you. And how about our studio crew, too?
The crew!
Paris, Renee, Teaspoon, hold it down.
Shot, yeah, all of it. Ton of love.
We were proud mamas out here in LA. And that's a good start to the 3rd quarter for Caitlin Clark, who was very quiet in the first 2 quarters. Just 4 points in her first 11 minutes tonight. Again, Clark on a minutes restriction, coming back from that pesky back injury. Did not play the last 2 before this one, so a couple of weeks since she played. Hamby continuing what she was doing in that 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and also important to remember, you've got Monique Billings and Maisha Hines-Allen that were in some foul trouble.
And Clark going back to work. Good defense that time by Wheeler.
Each only played about 10 minutes in that first half.
Wheeler for 3. Defense leading the offense for Erica Wheeler.
Stepping right into it. Again, there's a level of comfort, confidence, and poise that you've seen from this Los Angeles group. A big part of it, though, has started with their improved play at this end of the floor.
Now 4 made threes for LA. Clark still looking for her first made 3. 0 for 4 now from outside. Wheeler looking for more. Around and out. LA 4 for 17, 4 for 18 now after that last miss. Atkins with a steal. Atkins with an ace.
That is what she can do. 5-time all-defensive team player. Just reads that really well. And for Indiana, that's going to be a huge part of it. They've got to take care of the ball a whole lot better than they have here so far.
Yeah, they only turned it over 7 times total in their win over the Aces Sunday in Vegas. His whole steps into a mid-range shake. They turned it over 7 times in the 2nd quarter alone tonight, so gotta be better at ball security. 13 turnovers now and counting for the Fever. Ogwumike is fouled. And let's see, is that gonna be number 4 on Hines-Allen?
First, let's take a look at Ariel Matthews. She's right there. That's where she's in front of the basketball. You can't just give it to her like that. Finishing on the other end. And you mentioned the turnovers, ball security. That's huge for any team, but especially for a Los Angeles team that's trying to put the pieces back together, get into a rhythm. You know they want to play fast and run. Those are areas to be more mindful of. And
all right, so Ty Harris in. That was number 4 on Hines-Allen. And a little more on the Fever. Let's go cross-court to Tarika Foster-Brasby. Tarika?
Yeah, Kate, I had a quick check-in with Coach Austin Kelly at the half, and he said, you know, one thing that we've got to do is we've got to communicate better. We've had way too many communication breakdowns in that first half, and it also caused us not to do what we needed to do in our pick and roll. Our transition defense needed work, but more than anything, we have got to minimize the turnovers. Back to you, Kate.
Kelsey Mitchell can't connect from 3. Ogwumike off for the rebound. Lexi I think she's saying that should be on the floor, maybe before that rebound. A couple of former Stanford stars going at it. Ogwumike a few years before Hull. And the foul called on Ogwumike. Mitchell, no pick and roll with Billings, keeps it herself. Got to kick it out to Hull. Shot clock winding down. That's going to be a reach and foul on Wheeler. That's number 3 on her now.
However, for Indiana offensively, when they're at their best, it's rotating a defense. It's shifting the movement, the balance of how they're able to get into their actions, and you saw some more of it off that possession. But where they're so good is their ball sharing, and I think that's a big part of it, though, where you still want to be sharing the basketball, moving the basketball, but you got to be mindful of taking care of it and where you're making the simple pass.
Harris gets it back from Timpson. Shot clock at 3. At 2, Hull hits the brakes and hits the fadeaway.
Lexi Hull has been really good at reading the defense, getting to a response, working some of those mid-range looks just to get into a flow.
She has been huge tonight. In double figures is Hull. And the Fever saying that should be our basketball. Already used their challenge in the first half. Don't have another. They were unsuccessful.
Well aware of where the shot clock was at, but you see the stop, the pop, create some space off Burrell. She wasn't going to get all the way to the basket, but just finding some of those pockets on the floor where she can still be effective.
A dozen in 13 minutes tonight for Lexi Hull. Foul going to be on Ty Harris. And that is huge. That's something Steph White talked about with us this morning.
Well, I think for Lexi Hull, we talk about this all the time. She's tremendous in doing the little things. She's always going to bring the hustle. She's always going to make those extra effort type of plays, what she can do on the defensive side. The consistency of the three-point shot is, of course, something that she wants. Everyone would. But overall, it shouldn't negate finding some of those mid-range looks or getting yourself into a rhythm just by seeing it go through.
Yeah, she had 10 in the win in Vegas on Sunday. Kelsey Mitchell with 3 more there.
Someone accustomed to seeing it go through.
So now a 7-point game. Burrell, pretty turn and spin on the baseline. And 2 more for Ray Burrell. 3 Spark starters in double figures tonight. 12 for Burrell, 12 for Ogwumike, 15 for Hamby. Kelsey Mitchell, back-to-back trays for the all-star starter.
An awesome job just moving without the basketball and Billings being patient to find her.
Ogwumike answering right back for LA.
So looking more of the offenses and the type of efficiency we're accustomed to from these teams.
Good hands by Hull. Too strong on that 3-point attempt. 19 tonight for Kelsey Mitchell. She's leading all scores. Atkins. Burrell. 14 and counting tonight for Ray. .11 points, LA lead. Trailed by 10 in the first quarter. Lost 5 of their last 6 since losing Kelsey Plum. Looking like a different team than the one we saw Monday here on USA. It's going to be a kickball. Fever have won their last 2, knocking off the defending champs Sunday in Vegas. That was the Fever's first ever regular season win in Vegas. And
have an opportunity to go back there on Sunday.
Yeah. You'll be on that one, right?
I will.
Okay.
I will.
Hamby, the steal. De'Erica Hamby, the finish. And the Fever call time. Picking up where they left off in that second quarter, led by De'Erica Hamby.
Was going to make it, but the coaches rewarded what has been an outstanding season. She's averaging nearly 24 points and over 6 assists per game before her injury. And honestly, we aren't sure if she's going to actually be able to play. So we do know that she's a few weeks out, and they are going to make the decision closer to the All-Star game. But if they do have to replace her, that decision is going to lie with Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, who's the one who gets to choose who the replacement players are. So hopefully we'll get to see KP, but if not, it's on Kathy.
Yeah, well, it would love to see Kelsey Plum, of course. We talked a lot about the season that she'd had up to this point, and it's not just about the points, it's about the efficiency that she had from the field, from 3, averaging more than 6 assists per game, and is so much of what the Sparks offense was predicated around, how she's been able to play, and also the leadership that she provides.
I mean, she's the quarterback of this team. Again, we talked to Coach Roberts before the game. His offense built around having Kelsey Plum, just like, you know, the Rams offense here in LA, built around having Matthew Stafford available. We could go down the list of NFL teams, but we won't do that. Here is the 11-time All-Star, tying Diana Taurasi. 2 more tonight for Nneka Ogwumike.
It's the patience. She'll get up, under, work you. The counter moves to create that spacing is just elite.
And a great look there by the rookie, Raven Johnson, down to Timpson. Now, how about this? The starting front court points tonight. LA outscoring the Fever's front court 48-16.
And you knew that was going to be an area to watch, given the fact that Aaliyah Boston is not playing here tonight. You watch Nneka Ogwumike up, under, turn. I mean, she just continues to wait, to bait. Seeing the angles, finding the spacing, her efficiency has been through the roof. But it's not just without Aaliyah Boston, but then the foul trouble that Indiana was dealing with, and it's compounded for areas of the paint. And this is a Los Angeles team that's where they get their point production most from, is on the inside.
Yeah, Mo Billings had to sit for most of that high-scoring second quarter for LA with her 3 fouls. Aisha Hines-Allen had 3. Again, Aaliyah Boston not playing tonight. Sophie Cunningham suffering some back spasms in pregame tonight, so haven't seen Cunningham maybe as much as we would. There's Aaliyah Boston going to play tomorrow night in the second half of the Fever's back-to-back down in Phoenix. Ogwumike hitting the free throw, 18 and counting tonight for Nneka. Foul was on Timpson, her second. Atkins draws the foul. That's going to be number 3 on Timpson. Everything continuing to go right for the Sparks here.
Well, and what they've done is just put pressure at the rim, you know, regardless of whether it's some of those entry passes into the post up, the penetration. They're getting downhill, they're getting on the inside, and when that happens, it opens up a lot of their offensive game.
Atkins hits the first. Well, let's take a look at our upcoming national W schedule. As we mentioned, the Fever down in Phoenix to take on the Mercury in the nightcap tomorrow night on Prime. Seattle in Atlanta to take on the Dream in the opener. And then Friday on Ion, Dallas, Toronto, the Sky here in LA to take on the Sparks. For more on these games, WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Mitchell, the step back 3 is good. Her 4th three-pointer tonight.
How she can create space is something.
22 and counting in her 24 minutes for Kelsey Mitchell. Has played very well here at Crypto.com the last couple of seasons. 5 to shoot. Atkins, no. Mitchell averages 22 a game this season. That's where she is so far tonight, but again, had 34 here in August. Her teammates were joking with her after shoot-around that they wanted another 30 ball from her here tonight. Defended by Williams. Finding the open person. Johnson short, gets her own miss, and then is fouled by Atkins.
You said 30. Yeah, she's definitely tracking for that.
She's
we may
trying.
get more, but it's the shiftiness, and look at the space she creates. And the tough part about the matchup is just, we talked about her decision-making. She draws 2. She's able to find her open teammate. Johnson can't get the finish, but gets herself to the free throw line. That's where she's just been so impressive, especially over the course of this recent stretch and the time that she's played the last 4 games, averaging more than 26 points per game, 52% from the field, but she's playmaking, she's reading the defense. Feels like things have just slowed down for her to be able to pick apart how she sees an opponent.
That's the 4th personal on Atkins, on the rookie Raven Johnson. But as far as the consistency of Kelsey Mitchell, not just the last 4 games, Sarah, double figures now in 36 consecutive games, which puts her just 1 away from tying our USA teammate, Tamika Catchings. Burrell on the back cut, can't connect on the finger roll, but just 1 away from Catches 37 straight games with double figures, which is the Fever franchise record. Mitchell over to Dantas. Leaves that one short. Johnson, the offensive rebound, and the putback, and the rookie is fired up. And a tough night for her on the offensive end. And gotta feel good to see that one fall through. Had been 0 for 6 from the field before it. 71-63 Sparks. Just over 2 to go, third quarter. Everything continuing to go LA's way. Fever thought they had to steal. Ray Burrell for 3!
Big shot by Ray Burrell. Seen her get downhill all game long. This time able to find that clean look.
Johnson, no. Agumake the rebounds. Williams, slot, triple jackpot.
Things look a lot different for this Los Angeles Sparks offense when those threes are falling. Something that they have not been able to find with consistency this season. A lot of confidence from deep tonight.
Dantas able to answer that time for Indiana. That is what she does, the Brazilian off the bench for Seth White. Very consistent from beyond the arc. 17 for Burrell, 18 for Agumake. Healy tracking down the loose ball and laying it up and in. How happy are they to have her back? Just signing Peely a couple of days ago. Look down to Dantas. The shot waved off, the foul on Peely before it.
It's a great job here. The recognition, extra effort. Peely just coming through, picks up that loose ball. I think for both of these teams, though, you see a tenacity. You see them fighting. This is a 13-point lead that you've got here for the Los Angeles Sparks, but for both sides, they're trying to do some of those hustle plays, the extra effort work, picking up loose balls, attacking the offensive glass. All of those things are going to be critical here in this fourth quarter.
Dantas hits the first. Well, USA's Hit Series is back for a second season with all new cities, all new guests, and the same monstrous appetite. Don't miss everything on the menu with Braun Strowman.
Renee!
New episodes every Friday on USA,
Our
Sarah.
teammate Renee
She
in
was.
the studio.
She was.
Oh, I was jealous.
I've watched that episode a couple of times.
I was
It aired
jealous.
for the first time on a Friday, and then it reran a few
I need
times.
to check in with her how that all went.
You're making me hungry.
Trying to sell
Should we go out
myself to
post-game?
have an appearance.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I see that. Kustok wants in, Braun. Final 45 seconds of the third. The double by the Fever. Hamby fighting for position underneath. Had to get out of the lane. Shot clock at 4. Burrell has it taken away. Gets it back. Park got to get it off. She does. And it will not hit the rim. So it will be Fever basketball.
Oh, you see Stephanie White clapping, very enthusiastic for the defensive possession by her team. It's a difference maker for how they want to play and when they are playing successfully.
Yeah, gave up 27 points in that second quarter, 31 in this third quarter, but their offense has been much better, keeping them in this one. Mitchell has been the key cog of their offense. Kelsey Mitchell has another tray.
Filthy. Her handles, the quickness, and the read. And you got to give her a little bit of space because of how much she can just attack you with the glass.
25, 5 threes tonight for Kelsey Mitchell. And Ray Burrell with an answer for LA. Final seconds of the third. Just than they have been most of this season. And that's one of the big reasons they have this 11-point lead. Billings has not been able to play much tonight as Williams knocks it out of the path of a sprinting Sophie Cunningham.
I think an important thing to watch, we've talked a lot about the three-point shooting, and that has been significant. The difference between both of these teams and how efficient Los Angeles has been, 47%, but the turnovers.
Caitlin Clark short on that three. One of the big reasons Kelsey Mitchell has needed those 25. What a pass from Burrell. Down to Wheeler for the deuce.
Ray Burrell's in her bag tonight. And her ability to push the pace, how she rebounds, is able to find those teammates up ahead. For Los Angeles, they're playing so much better on the defensive side, and it's allowed them to play at the tempo and cadence that they want.
Dantas left alone. and makes LA pay. Williams pushing ahead. Here's Burrell again. Ray Burrell with 22. Wheeler hassling Clark yet again. Johnson, no. Billings battling with Hamby. Billings last to touch it.
There's a lot of things you love to see from Ray Burrell. We talked a lot about the moves, the quickness. What a finish with the reverse. But what I love out of this is you continue to watch her growth. Is that she missed some shots early. You could see the frustration on her face. She didn't allow that to stop her from continuing to be really effective in how she was doing a lot of the little things. Shots started going through, and now look at the way she's been able to really put together a complete game.
Neko Gumake short on the corner three. Well, again, we talked about it right off the tip tonight, Sarah. 2 for 11 was Ray Burrell in Monday's really disappointing loss for the Sparks to the Storm. Caitlin Clark with her first three-point make tonight. Atkins, shorts, Billings the rebounds. Wheeler, a little bump on Clark. Clark, the step back, and Wheeler takes the rebound away from Billings, says, let's slow things down. But again, Burrell, Wheeler, so many Sparks were so frustrated with themselves in Monday's loss. Atkins was as well. And they said, we're better than this. We're veterans in this league. We have to step up, and they have done that so far tonight. Led by this player as well. Gumake, unable to connect. Billings, after the defensive play on the other end, said she was fouled as her finger roll fell short. Gumake left alone and takes advantage.
And that's a great baseball pass by Dearica Hamby. For Indiana, they've struggled in their get-back and transition defense, and Los Angeles has made them pay.
20 now for Gumake, 22 for Burrell, 17 for Hamby. That's how you win without Kelsey Plum. Cunningham, no. Billings, look at the battle between Billings and Hamby.
Hamby doesn't even pick that up with two. Keeps it on the right side. Quickness and getting it up to Gumake.
I think somewhere Matthew Stafford is saying, yep, like that form, like that from Hamby. Every Sparks player has scored tonight. That is how you snap out of this slide without Kelsey Plum. No Cam Brink either for LA, one of their best defensive players. Wheeler lost it, tied up. Still plenty of time on the shot, though. Wheeler past Caitlin Clark, counted in the foul for Erica Wheeler. Saying hello to our camera operator there on the baseline.
She just tucks that. Watch her brings it through and making sure that Billings can't get a hand on it. Talking about a quarterback looking a little bit like a running back there by Wheeler, and she turns the corner strong with the ball and gets the finish. And that's where you give the Sparks credit. Every time that this deficit has been cut a little bit, it feels like Indiana's starting to get a rhythm, making some shots. They have continued to open things up, and a big part of it has been the pace that they've been able to push.
And good save by Jared. JB, our baseline camera on. JB, you okay there? Thumbs up on the baseline? Okay. Good stuff there, my friends. Good stuff from Erica Wheeler. Fourth Sparks starter into double figures. After that, three-point play. A little over 6.5 to go tonight. LA's dropped 5 of 6. Sparks have fallen in both games against the Fever so far this season. As Mo Billings goes to work on Hamby, and Erica looking over to Coach Lynn Roberts saying, no, let's challenge that one. The Sparks still have their challenge. Much better efforts tonight all around by LA. Billings got into foul trouble early in the first half. This is that one. WNBA action continuing Monday at 7 here on USA. NECA and the Sparks heading to Atlanta to take on Angel Reese and the Dream. It all happens right here on USA. Billings misses them both. Yeah, we love seeing you Mondays and most Wednesdays here on USA. We are all so honored to be a part of this league now, joining here in year 30, all of us here at USA Sports. Hold the steal. Mitchell pushing, floater short, Billings. Can't finish on the follow. Lexi Hull can't either. So 3 bites at the apple, and Indy comes up empty. I think the fans are trying not to get too excited here, but you can tell they're starting to sense it. Starting to feel maybe this is the one where LA snaps this 3-game slide. And well, right into the chest of Lexi Hull. Let's see who this is on. All right, I think that's gonna be on Ray Burrell. We'll be back. In basketball, love it. Love seeing the support. Stars are always out here in LA. Tonight, no difference. Kelsey Mitchell has been the star for the Fever. Caitlin Clark on a minutes restriction, coming back from that pesky back injury of hers. Hull has been good as well. Back-to-back double-figure performances for Lexi Hull. Nice move by Duntis, but couldn't finish the jumper. And Hamby picks up the floorboard. And we're getting close to that point. If the Fever do want to make that comeback that Cunningham was talking about, where they can't have the empty trips, gotta start getting stops and making buckets on the other end. What a night it's been for Nneka. 28 and 5. Couldn't finish that one. Fever ball.
But you said a big part of it begins with defensively getting stops. And that's where the Fever have struggled to consistently try and slow down this Los Angeles team. That so much of what their strength has been is what they do on the offensive side, but defensively, they have been very tough.
They have had 8 straight misses, though, on this end, Sarah. Let's see if they can end that streak. Mitchell whips the pass back to a cutting Duntis, and that is exactly how you end a field goal drought.
A great movement, especially movement off the ball when Kelsey Mitchell has it, because you know that the attention of the defense is going to be on her.
Duntis with 10, off the bench for Indy. Can't be too strong, Simpson the rebounds. Then Indy rallied from 16 down earlier this season to knock off the Mercury, so they have come back from a double-figure deficit already this year. Duntis looking to pay it back to Mitchell. Mitchell picks it up, floats it up, and gets the roll. 27 for Mitchell.
Play how we can lead to victories and wins.
And they're looking for her out of this timeout. Ogwumike in the lane for 2 more. 22 for Nneka tonight.
And there's still plenty of time left in this game, but that's an important basket here for Los Angeles. Lynn Roberts calling that timeout because she felt the momentum of the Fever, and a player like Ogwumike settles things down.
Oh, with all night to shoot that one, leaves it short. Long rebound out to Wheeler. Atkins. Well, that is, again, the 4th time with the Ogwumike bucket that the Fever had cut the lead to 10 as Timpson finishes and is fouled. But you mentioned how big the Ogwumike bucket was. That was the 4th time tonight that LA had responded with a bucket on the very next possession after the Fever had come within 10.
Well, the Fever still trying to do their part. You see Timpson, she finishes, opportunity for an and-one play.
Yeah, they're not going to go away. Again, rally back from 16 down this season. Timpson can't finish the 3-point play.
The struggle, though, for Indiana amongst a handful of things. The turnovers were an issue, 18 points off turnovers for Los Angeles, but they just have not been hitting the 3-point shot at the level of effectiveness that they typically do.
And that's going to be an illegal screen on Atkins, so an empty possession from LA. Let's see how Indiana, if they can take advantage. Number 5 on Atkins as well. Roberts disputed the call, saying that her player was set. Mitchell leading all scores tonight with 27. Lexi Hull with a dozen. Clark with 9, Ty Harris with a 9, Duntis with 10, another Fever turnover. Wheeler with 2 more. And Steph White in the Fever call time. Every time tonight, Indy has put together a little run. these Sparks have had an answer.
They've also had great attention to detail. 20 points off turnovers, but even off of this steal, it's Ariel Atkins continuing to take away that left-hand side for Kelsey Mitchell, and then forces the disjointed pass that Wheeler shoots the gap. Everyone has been moving on a string. They understand where to be, how to be, and just knowing their personnel. The
proud veteran-led team. Mitchell gets the bounce. 29 for Kelsey Mitchell.
Still time.
Teammates were asking for a 30-piece after shoot-around this morning. She had 34 here in August of last season. Wheeler, no. Rebounded Duntis. This is the third and final game this season, this regular season at least, between the Fever and the Sparks. Fever took the first two. More hounding defense from LA. And Hamby, that's 19.
They just keep blitzing those ball screens. And for as much as we're talking about the production, and De'Erica Hamby being such a huge part of how she can play off of these pick and rolls and what they've done defensively.
Oh, sneaking inside for two. Fever not gonna go away. Burrell with hole behind her. Agumake. A fadeaway on the baseline. 24 for Nneka.
She makes a high degree of difficulty shots look easy.
Doesn't she?
It's
Duntis responding for Indy.
But it's not just the tough shot making and ones and where she's getting to her spots, the timeliness of it in slowing runs.
101-89. Gotta get a stop if you're the Fever. Ray Burrell swatted by Timpson. What a block that was by Michaela Timpson. And then a foul on the other end. So they got the emphatic stop that they were hoping for. Burrell furious that there wasn't a foul. But we often talk about the long arms of Timpson. That was Exhibit A right there. Ty Harris going to shoot two for the Fever.
Ray said, I'm trying to set my career high here tonight.
Harris hits the first.
Take a look at this. So great job on that cut.
What are you thinking?
It looked pretty good. She didn't get her up top. I think she probably felt it a little bit there in the leg, but I do think that was a clean block.
So Harris splits the free throws. Just over a minute to go. 11-point Sparks lead. One more bucket. Might just be the dagger. Might have come from Ray Burrell. Foul on Duntis. Got into the dribbling lane of Burrell. Just a fantastic bounce back for the fifth-year player out of Tennessee. Ray Burrell again held to just 5 points Monday. 22, two off her season and career high here tonight.
And for the Sparks, we talked about a lot of areas. The big part of it is points off turnovers with 58 points in the paint. And for a Fever team playing without Aaliyah Boston, you feel that, you understand that, but also their pressure in getting in the paint. Put some others in foul trouble, and it's just been a big part of understanding exactly how they want to play in the areas on the floor that they've operated so effectively at.
And a round of applause for a couple of stars tonight for the Sparks. Crowd, let them hear it. A standing ovation for the 46 combined points between Agumake and Burrell. Second big swat from Timpson. Atkins with the dagger! What a night it has been for these LA Sparks. And dropped 5 of 6. One of those losses coming to the Fever in Indy back at the end of June. An extremely disappointing performance here Monday against Seattle. And this was the bounce back that all of them were wanting and needing. The offensive rebounds. Williams gets it down to Hamby. 3 different LA Sparks with 20-point performances here tonight. And Sarah, not one of them, named Kelsey Plum. Impressive stuff from the Sparks. Harris can't connect on the three, tracked down by Williams. And that's gonna do it tonight here in LA. And the crowd letting their shorthanded squad hear it. Hand drop three in a row coming into this one tonight. And